Here is very similar to a number of years ago when the running back for Baltimore got suspended, and then ultimately his career was altered where he was never able to play again. And Ray Rice, there was knowledge that he had an altercation with his fiance and future wife, but there wasn't no video. So domestic violence without any audio or video is totally different. And I believe that everything changed once that video came out. His career and life were altered in a way that he could never get back. Never played another down at football for that. Now, I'm not saying that about Tyreek Hill, that he's not going to play another down. But let me tell you something. After the prosecutors had dismissed the case, even though they thought that someone should be charged, they thought that a crime had been committed. A young child had their arm broken. So in doing that, we didn't have the audio. So now once that's released, the audio, and then now you start to put some of the characteristics with it, that's why the Chiefs had to respond in real time last night once they were able to hear this. Everything changed with the NFL office. Remember when they said they finally got the videotape? Yep. And I believe with the Chiefs, like, they are going to have to make a decision, and they've received a lot of criticism after signing
Frank Clark, trading for Frank Clark.
Paid him $100 million. He had a domestic issue when he was in high school. And now the Tyreek Hill, he was already on that roster, because when this offseason began, they were getting ready to make Tyreek Hill the highest paid wide receiver in pro football. I doubt that that's going to happen, and I do believe that we could have seen Tyreek Hill's last days playing with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I've seen the NFL respond in a couple different ways in these matters. So how they respond, I won't be surprised, but the audio being released was a game changer for what was getting ready to happen.
I really, really believe in second chances. I'm a proponent for them. I think people make really awful, horrible mistakes, and it doesn't make them awful, horrible people. I'm not a huge fan of third and fourth chances. And Tyreek Hill, when this 3-year-old was in utero, he strangled the pregnant mother, beat her up. And that's why he fell to the 5th round. And the Chiefs, my hometown team, the only team I ever rooted for, Chiefs said, we're going to deal with it. We're going to give him a second chance, give him a chance. And he turned into one of the most exciting players in the league, a dynamic player. And now the cops went to his house twice in March for alleged potential child abuse. I watched that full press conference the prosecutor gave 2 days ago where he said, we know a crime's been committed. We are confident crime's been committed. But when the victim is 3 and when the parties, the adult parties who potentially could give information aren't going to, it's impossible to charge. And the fiance, the mother of the child who's pregnant again, by the way, she had recorded Tyreek Hill talking about what happened. And where he admits in that audio that she says that as a form of punishment for the 3-year-old, punches him in the chest. And if he cries, he whoops him. And
with a belt.
With a belt. Whoops him with a belt. Yes, thank you. And Tyreek says in the audio, child respects me. And the child's mother says, no, he's terrified of you. And Tyreek is on tape saying to her, you should be terrified of me, B. And curse word. There's no place for this. There's no place for this in just civilized society. This stuff is tough because we all have kids. We all love kids, and I don't care how good of a player he is. You have now. Who is more vulnerable than a pregnant woman and a baby? And so, like, what should the Chiefs do? They should cut him yesterday. What will they do? I don't know. But I think there's an element where you can separate the art from the artist, where you can respect someone for what they do in their professional life, and their personal life is different. Something's got to be beyond the pale. And a guy that got a second chance and had everything out in front of him, and he's allegedly...
Well, you think he got a second chance? Because from what I know and what I've experienced, from a public information standpoint, that information is very, very limited. So if you draw a conclusion off of that incident when he was in college and he was kicked out of school and ended up going to West Alabama, What about all the other stuff? I try to tell people, I tell a version of the NFL that is ready for TV, for people, but I can give you another version that I ain't surprised by this. If you talk about what was one of the most complicated things for me as a young professional athlete, it was to be able to try to manage my family, for me to try to, I'm talking about my siblings, my mother, my brothers and sisters. I'm in the NFL. They not in the NFL. They think they're in the NFL. They're not in the NFL. How to become a young dad, how to become a young professional, and I didn't have a dad in my life. So I didn't have any parenting skills. My mom was working odd jobs, 7 kids. Man, it was about hustling. Most of the time, my mom was not at home. So trying to become a good parent, it was an issue with me. It was paramount to me. It became important to me that I had to get other guys that were good parents and role models that I could learn from them. I'm not surprised the NFL player, NBA player is struggling trying to raise their kids while trying to become a professional athlete. No. We give athletes the benefit of the doubt. We think because someone can shoot, dribble, do something special, that they have unique abilities as a human being. No, they don't. They just as normal, and that couple is just a young couple trying to get their stuff together, and now it's public because of his job. There are a lot of people that struggle, but you cannot make excuses when young men abuse women, the elderly, and children. I have been through this, and over this. So it's not emotional with me. These are the real things that go on, and when they go on, you have to be able to do something about it. Kansas City should respond. The NFL should respond. And the reason why, because this takes me back to Adrian Peterson. The thing that made me so upset was no one was speaking for that kid. And someone's got to be able to speak up for that kid who has a broken arm and has a fractured relationship. His mom can't protect him, and he's terrified of his father.
And I think one of the reasons this struck me so emotionally is because people